In July-August 1943, the troops of the Central, Voronezh and Steppe fronts of Generals Rokossovsky, Batutin and Konev defeated the armies of Model, Kempiev, and Gotha in the Battle of Kursk, finally turning the tide of the war. The Battle of Kursk in 1943 was fought from July 5 to August 23, 1943. It involved more than 2.1 million people, more than 6,200 tanks, and 4,500 aircraft. It was fought on the territory of Kursk, Orel, Belgorod, Kharkov regions, and ended with the collapse of the German grouping. The Battle of Kursk is the largest confrontation in history with the participation of tank formations. For 50 days on the front of 250 kilometers involved about 5,000 Soviet tanks and self-propelled vehicles and about 2,800 German tanks and assault guns. The Germans sought to retake the initiative after their defeat at Stalingrad. Using the latest armored vehicles Tiger and Panther, the Wehrmacht intended to smash a large 1.3 million soldiers grouping of troops of the Central, Steppe and Voronezh fronts in the Kursk-Bulge-Kursk protrusion. Victory at Kursk would have allowed Hitler on the Eastern Front to move from defense to offensive, either in the northern towards Moscow or southern towards the Caucasus directions. The Battle of Kursk was the first battle of the Great Patriotic War, by the beginning of which the USSR had superiority over Germany in tanks 1.5 times, aircraft 1.4 times, artillery 2 times, and personnel more than 1.5 times.
Fate of the battle.
Hitler gave the order to start the offensive at Kursk on May 3, 1943 on April 15. But because of the skepticism of the generals, alarmed by the strengthening of the Russian defense, the operation was postponed until July. At 6 a.m. on July 5, 1943, in the northern part of the front, the Germans made bombing and artillery strikes. It is considered the beginning of the Battle of Kursk. On August 18 and 23, the Orel and Belgorod-Kharkov operations were completed, the finale of the Battle of Kursk. The Kursk offensive operation lasted from July 5 to July 23, 1943.
The course of the battle.
Having concentrated up to 50 divisions, including 18 tank and motorized divisions with a total strength of more than 900,000 people, the Germans during the Operation Citadel expected to break through 3 defensive lines of the Central Front. But in 5 days, the German Ninth Army lost about half of its tanks and was forced to go on the defense. Having concentrated up to 50 divisions, including 18 tank and motorized divisions with a total strength of more than 900,000 people, the Germans during the Operation Citadel expected to break through 3 defensive lines of the Central Front. The culmination of the Battle of Kursk was the Battle of Prokhorovka. Its dates from July 10th to July 16th. The Germans planned to encircle Soviet 69th Army. The most large-scale tank battle near Prokhorovka took place on July 12th. According to different data, the Germans used 700 tanks and assault guns divisions of SS Deadhead and Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler. On the Soviet side, from 790 to 808 tanks, and SAU, mainly the 5th Army of General Rotmistrov. Data on losses varied. The Germans indicated from 80 to 100 combat vehicles, Soviet sources up to 400. Our 18th and 29th Corps of the 5th Guards Tank Army lost up to 250 vehicles. On July 14th, the Germans tried to encircle 5 divisions of the 69th Army. But on July 15th, they switched to defense. On July 20th and 23, the troops of the Voronezh and Steppe fronts went on the offensive. The Kursk operation ended with the victory of the Red Army.
Results and significance of the battle.
The turning point in the course of the Great Patriotic War, laid by the victory in Stalingrad, was finalized after the Battle of Kursk. According to its results, Hitler's Germany did not conduct strategic offensive operations on the Eastern Front. It switched to defense and counterattack actions, and never had parity with the Soviet troops or superiority over them, neither in manpower nor in military equipment. Hitler's main ally in Europe, Italy, withdrew from the war on Germany's side after the Battle of Kursk.
Popular questions and answers. Question: how did the Soviet Union's allies assess the outcome of the Battle of Kursk?
Answer: US. President Franklin Roosevelt said that a second front in Europe should be opened as soon as possible.
Question: what did German military commanders say about the outcome of the Battle of Kursk?
Answer: General Guderian claimed that the initiative had completely passed to the Russians, and Field Marshal Manstein recognized that the failure of Operation Citadel was a turning point in the war on the Eastern Front.
Question: so how many tanks did the sides lose during the entire battle?
Answer: according to various sources, for July-August 1943, the Red Army lost at least 4,000 tanks in SOS, the Wehrmacht from 1,500 German data to 2,900 Soviet data tanks and assault guns.
Question: is it true that the Battle of Kursk was marked by a record number of shells fired in a short period of time?
Answer: during the week of July 5th to 12th, 1943, the troops of the Central Front used up 1,000 carloads of ammunition, the Voronezh Front 407 carloads.
Who commanded the fronts during the battle?
Strategic leadership from our side was Marshal Zhukov, from the German side Field Marshal General Manstein. The Voronezh Front was commanded by General Vatutin, the Steppe Front by General Konev, and the Central Front by General Kunev Kosovsky. The 5th and 1st Tank Armies were commanded by Generals Rotmistrov and Katukov. The 16th Air Army was commanded by General Rudenko. The 9th Wehrmacht Army was commanded by General Model, the Army Group 8th Army General Kempiev, the 4th Tank Army General Goth, the 6th Air Fleet General von Grain.
What is known about the heroes of the battle?
On July 13th, at the village of Samadurovka, 18 border guards under the command of Lieutenant Alexander Romanovsky, having taken a circular defense, diverted significant forces of Germans from our offensive, destroyed more than 100 fascists, and all died. The commander of the mortar calculation Manzus Vanahun, being surrounded near the farm Soglazny, exploded a 120 mm mine and died, having destroyed more than a platoon of fascists. Mechanic driver Alexander Nikolaev, when his T-34 was hit and caught fire, crashed at high speed into a German Tiger and destroyed it. On July 10th at the village of Molachichi near the village of Molatichi, Senior Sergeant Mansur Abdullah's squad shot down 8 tanks in 13 hours and repulsed several tank and infantry attacks. Sergeant Pavel Banov from July 7th to July 10th from the anti-tank gun hit 7 tanks, was wounded, but did not leave the battlefield.